Intro music begins, dynamic and epic, then fades to a low hum. Have you ever wondered how we went from throwing rocks to having the power to end civilization with the push of a button? The story of humanity is, in many ways, the story of our weapons. They haven't just decided battles. They've built empires, toppled them, and fundamentally shaped who we are today. So, buckle up, because we're about to embark on an epic journey through the entire history of weapons, from the first sharpened stone to the terrifying power of the atom. Our story begins over 2 million years ago. Our earliest ancestors, competing with massive predators, needed an AGA. Their first weapon wasn't forged in fire. It was found on the ground. A simple rock. A heavy branch. These were the first extensions of human will. The real game changer was when we started shaping them. The hand axe, a teardrop-shaped piece of flint, wasn't just a tool. It was a multi-purposed weapon for chopping, cutting, and defending. This was the dawn of military technology. For thousands of years, the name of the game was get close and hit hard. But then, a revolutionary idea took hold. What if we could fight from a distance? This led to the first projectile weapons, the throwing spear, followed by the spear thrower, or allowed hunters and warriors to strike from a safer distance with incredible force. Imagine being able to launch a spear with the power of a modern compound bow. That's the kind of leap we're talking about. But the ultimate early ranged weapon was, of course, the bow and arrow. Perfected around 20,000 years ago, it was a masterpiece of engineering. It stored human energy and released it in an instant, sending a deadly projectile flying with precision and speed. From the English longbow that dominated medieval battlefields, to the powerful composite bows of the Mongol horsemen, the bow and arrow reigned supreme for millennia, changing the face of warfare forever. As societies grew, so did the scale of conflict. We built walls, and then we built weapons to tear them down. Welcome to the age of siege warfare. The Romans, masters of engineering, gave us the ballista, a giant crossbow that could skewer soldiers, and the onagar, a catapult that hurled massive stones to smash fortifications. These weren't just weapons. They were psychological tools, designed to inspire terror in those huddled behind their walls. Then, everything changed. A new smell filled the air, the smell of sulfur, charcoal, and saltpeter. Gunpowder, invented in 9th century China, arrived in Europe and unleashed a new kind of hell. Early firearms, like the hand cannon, were crude, inaccurate, and often as dangerous to the user as to the enemy. But the potential was undeniable. The sound alone, a thunderous roar never heard before, was enough to break an army's morale. Over the next few centuries, firearms evolved at a breakneck pace. The arquebus and the musket made armor, which had protected knights for centuries, almost obsolete. The development of the flintlock mechanism made firearms more reliable, and the bayonet turned every soldier into a spearman and a rifleman at the same time. Formations changed. Armies now stood in lines, firing devastating volleys in a terrifying, smoky dance of death. The age of the knight was over. The age of the infantryman had begun. The Industrial Revolution didn't just build factories. It built a new kind of army. Mass production meant we could create weapons faster than ever before. The rifled barrel, which spun the bullet for greater accuracy, transformed the musket into the rifle. The invention of the self-contained cartridge by people like Casimir Lafoucheau meant soldiers could reload in seconds, not minutes. This led to weapons like the Gatling gun, the world's first successful machine gun, capable of firing hundreds of rounds per minute. The battlefield became a meat grinder. The 20th century saw this deadly evolution accelerate into overdrive. World War I introduced the world to the horrors of trench warfare, poisoned gas, and the first tanks slumbering across no man's land. The sky, once the domain of birds, became a new battlefield for fighter planes. In World War II, this total war was perfected. Blitzkrieg tactics combining air power and armored divisions overwhelmed enemies in days. Aircraft carriers projected naval power across oceans, and radar gave us eyes in the dark. The scale of destruction was unimaginable, but humanity's capacity for destruction was about to make one final, terrifying leap. On July 16, 1945, in the New Mexico desert, The Trinity test detonated the first atomic bomb. J. N. Robert Oppenheimer, the father of the bomb, famously recalled a line from Hindu scripture: "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." For the first time in history, we had created a weapon with the power to cause our own extinction. The nuclear bomb didn't just end World War II. It created a new world order. The Cold War was a standoff between superpowers armed with thousands of nuclear warheads, held in check by a terrifying logic known as mutually assured destruction, or MAD. The idea was simple. If you launch your nukes, we launch ours, and everyone dies. T's delicate, horrifying balance has, so far, prevented a third world war. But the threat remains a constant shadow over our civilization. Today, we're in a new era of warfare. Drones controlled from thousands of miles away carry out precision strikes. Cyber warfare can cripple a nation's infrastructure without firing a single shot. Artificial intelligence is being developed to pilot fighter jets and make battlefield decisions in fractions of a second. We've come a long way from the simple hand axe. The history of weapons is a dark and often brutal reflection of our own ingenuity, our fears, and our ambition. Each invention, from the sharpened stick to the guided missile, represents a pivotal moment that changed our world forever. It's a sobering reminder of our dual nature, our capacity to create and our capacity to destroy. What will the next chapter in this story be? Only time will tell. Thanks so much for joining me on this incredible journey through time. If you found this fascinating, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history. Let me know in the comments which weapon you think was the biggest game. Until next time, stay curious.